Prologue. I decided to do a prologue. Dog barking in the background. Kids are here in the other room. Speaking of the kids, they are 10 and 14, calling for me now. They don't know I'm in here doing this, but they do know that I'm doing this. And they are aware of what has happened in their lives. And all things considered, are doing extremely well. They bond with one another, even though their 10-year-old girl was kind of the dominant one and 14-year-old quiet old soul boy. And I believe that on some other level that they know that they need to be here for one another. Because the topic of this is their mom has plummeted. And again, I know what people think about, oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't say that, and it's not fair. She doesn't have a voice. She's had plenty of voice, and has used it to hurt our family. Actions have hurt our family significantly, perhaps generational, even though the begging, the pleading, the asks to go to therapy, the asks to go to a spiritual counselor who she agreed to, all of this has been done. Neutral parties, everything's been exhausted. I've gone to friends and family and said, please, can you step in here? And I'm now realizing in the prologue, this is after I did all of the episodes, it's finished, that there's really nothing more that I can do. And I've also arrived at a really cleansed place after all of this. It's a process. And maybe you'll stick around for this journey of the process and listen for it. Listen to where you can relate to it. Listen to where you have something in common with someone who swallowed a dark pill. In this case, it's her cult leader, who I call a cult leader. And I do believe I mentioned this in the episodes. I'm also doing this to protect our family in case something happens. I've been threatened by the cult leader's boyfriend and the cult leader. Several terrible things have been said about me, and I'm a man who actually has a public reputation. Falsehoods, lies. To watch someone who I think was an honest, beautiful human being turn into this. I wrote to her today and I said, is it okay if I mention that you've become a pathological liar? She didn't deny that. Is it okay if I mention that you have been a criminal? She didn't deny that. If anyone wants a parallel for this, watch some of these documentaries, The Vow, Wild Wild Country, Mother Love, I believe one is called. Sins of My Mother, though, when my friend popped up in there, that was when I really got alerted, because I spoke to him. I've been on his podcast a couple of times. He's the brother of Lori Vallow, who she also, just like me, has 2 children. And those children, she killed them with her cult leader that she left everything for, someone just like my now ex-wife has left to be ruled and governed and influenced in a powerful way with this woman who she has just made her guru. I have some like things that my friends have sent me from her Facebook. I'm blocked from her Facebook, but everybody sends me things because they're concerned as well, and they're noticing her ego. It's an ego that's beyond anything that I've ever seen before. It's so powerful that there is no getting in to this beautiful person. There's no getting in. And you'll hear in the episodes of all the things that she's done. The children were in therapy. She sent videos to have me reported to child services. She kidnapped the children twice, removing them from my care. She's uh, stole almost $1 million by changing the password in the account. She has been violent countless times, runs out of rooms, had Airbnb secret safe houses because she was claiming to be abused, and all of these things that she would make up that people would go along with because of who she professes to be and puts out there. There's so many things, and then when the cult leaders threaten me, this is my response to protect myself and the children. So if anything happens to me, now it's here. And you can look up, you can do the unpacking and find out who it is that I'm talking about. These are people that are so dark and sinister and in denial of it. And those are the scariest of them all. The ones who profess to be loving, the love wins and all of this. I'll read some of these. First of all, her alleged expertise is emotional alchemy. So this alone is her being an expert, my ex-wife being an expert in anything where the results are bankruptcy or stealing. It's a joke that she would actually profess to be these things. The language of our subconscious is emotions. This is someone has no control over her emotions, none. She snaps out, mediation freaks out, lawyers freaks out, neutral parties, doesn't matter, runs completely cut off. No conscience. I'll say, hey, can you try something different? Can I just keep on showing up as this friendly, good person? And that's the funny thing is she acknowledges it. My friend told me that she wrote on Facebook. I haven't seen it. He didn't send it to me, but she wrote something about what a great dad I am. If I'm a great dad, you don't kidnap the kids twice. You don't put their dad in jail on false charges when you were the one who was violent. You don't do that. You don't do a restraining order against their father if this is what you believe. So which is it that you believe? Someone like this you can't believe. And do you recognize this in anyone you know? I don't like the labels, but the gaslighting that takes place. I said, listen, I'm not going to let the kids go out of state with you or out of, and it was to visit her family. And she says, I'm saddened that you would do that to them, forgetting how sad the children are about all of the actions that she's taken to hurt their father, who they love. I mean, we really, really get along great, me and the kids. And they would want me to do this because they do wish to speak to someone to say, help their mom. So maybe those people will listen to the children. Maybe they'll speak to them and say, what really happened? I mean, I could do that, and people get pissed at me. You shouldn't do that. You should, well, talk to the kids if you're someone that's close. If you want to know why they're not allowed to go to her country of origin or another state, this is the reason, because I am threatened that they will be taken away. And they have no interest in that. Not that it could happen, but maybe they could do something else criminal. I have no idea. I get knocks at the door, and it's quite scary, to tell you the truth. Somebody is capable of what she's done. It's scary. It's just scary. And I have no idea where these children are. Can't get a hold of them. They both have cell phones. She's taking them to unknown locations. This is emotional blackmail. She's in the emotional alchemy business. And she's following this guru who also started it by leaving her family, all with these claims. And you'll hear about this in the episodes. And then I find out someone sends me a note that her child didn't speak to her, the one that her boyfriend beat up, by the way, and was sent to child services, allegedly, but that's pretty much confirmed. Well, that is confirmed. How much he beat him up, that's another question. They deal with things, they had think of conscious parenting. This woman's always claiming she's an expert in parenting. The kid didn't speak to her for a whole year. And then typical for her, the leader, she has to brag about things. And, she's always the expert and just doesn't listen to any feedback. And so cocky about, and she has to post a picture of her and her son with a note that he sent her, the narcissist, to appeal to her narcissism. That's the sad thing. She doesn't understand it. That's why the child sent this note to her saying what a great mom she is. And she needs to do that. She needs to post this engagement that she has with this guy that came Rundle, I call him, that he comes after me. And they're supposed to be spiritual people. He's telling me, talk about integrity. My ex-wife and them, they have so little integrity. The integrity is all about them. It's selfishness, it's narcissism, it's whatever you want. I mean, narcissism is thrown around a lot, but this really is powerful narcissism. And I never thought I'd ever think this about my now ex-wife. I never. And this is also a clarion call. This is to let you know that you just don't know someone. You just don't really, really know someone, especially when there's something going on inside of them that she admits in some of these notes. And it's all theories. When you hear people do the theories, maybe this is a theory. So I read some of these things and go, well, how do you know? How do you know? And I mean, no. Is there clinical studies? Is there data? They just wax on and on. Receiving validation in the form of romantic love will not heal inner wounding, just like fame and fortune doesn't. We can't fully heal from gaining something externally. What happens over time is we begin to sabotage the relationship because we subconsciously believe that if we are broken, unworthy, unlovable, once the partner sees the real me, they will leave. Okay, let's say that's the truth. What do you do about that? So if you're a coach, ex-wife, we're calling Lotus, then why would you not double down on getting better? I actually said, fulfill the promise that you gave the children. Promises mean nothing to someone like this. And go get help. She told them they would. And then she says, well, that I need the help. And yeah. Well, I will tell you that this process has meant a lot to me. Some people have even commented, many people have commented. Maybe you'll notice the difference between the episodes as they go. Maybe the first episode, which I haven't really listened to, will be a different demeanor from me, a different energy, because I do feel I got it out. So it had multi-purposes. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the purpose was to be able to let go and surrender. And yet that surrender is not going to include allowing the children to be hurt anymore. Allowing them to be lied to. I mean, they're going to be lied to. She's going to continue to lie to them. She also had a lie where she said that she would never introduce the children to a boyfriend. And right away, the kids know all about him. She also said that we would do conscious uncoupling and not involve lawyers. And that's something, another promise she did not fulfill. She said she would split the money on mediation. Of course, I paid for all of it. This is a person. Do you know anyone like this? That they, and oh, here's what I was going to mention. I think a big issue that I have found in society is there's whistleblowers, of which that would be what I would be. And then there's the corrupt. People protect the corrupt. It's just some paradigm that takes place that it's fascinating to me. I'll even bring up something that'll, conspiracy theorist or whatever it is, I'll bring up a theory, even on the cult thing. And it's amazing to me how people will rush to the attack of the one revealing, the truth teller. And they have a million responses for that. How do you know the truth? How do you know it's your truth? Whatever it is. So she also writes, this is